I would love to hear that poem that you read out of your literary party book the last time we spoke.
Are you ready?
Yes, I am.
Okay. This poem was written a few years after I left the Amish farm, and about the late nights in gay bars, and it's about a drag queen, and it's called Cabaret Days. She's beautiful as she steps on stage. Another Saturday night at the cabaret. The audience applauds her presence. Her blonde mane, her powdery face, her sequin gown. Everyone clinks cocktail glasses together, screaming for her magic, which she dazzles them with. As the lights dim and her liquid lips mouth to something old, something new, something borrowed, something blue. One by one, everyone creeps near the stage to offer tips of money and revel in her ungrateful smile.
I love it. It's just such a beautiful, powerful piece of writing. So
Thank you.
you're very talented. I'm so proud of you for.
Thank you. And you know, so once you got into I got into writing, it's like being ex-Amish, you educate yourself, and there was a time when I'm at the farm and I'm counting out like Shakespearean rhyme schemes and mimicking these things, and you're doing things that I should have been doing with a literary professor, but there it is. So yeah, you have to put in a lot of hard work for poetry. I mean, it really is hard if you want to be good. But at some point, I'd like to write maybe I've written published a short story, maybe do some more fiction. I really like doing essays. Working for Eris magazine, that was really fun because I got to dip into journalism a little bit. But yeah, writing for me has always been a really fun, enjoyable passion, reason for living.
Okay, so we're going to get to the point where I ask these standard sets of questions.
Okay.
That
Okay.
we spoke a little bit about why you left the Amish
Mm-hmm.
and the challenges you face. We touched on that. What is your understanding of forgiveness today, now?
Forgiveness. I will give you the answer that I gave you last time. For me, forgiveness is taking the knife out of your back, but not using it to hurt someone else.
That's so powerful and beautiful. I love that idea, understanding of forgiveness.
Hard to do. Yes, you're welcome.
And what is your definition of acceptance?
Unconditional love. That's it.
Beautiful. I love it. Love it. What is your guiding principle in life?
I don't actually remember what I told you last time. My guiding principle in life. I don't think I have one of those.
What drives you? Like when I think of guiding principle, what drives you and what gets you through the tough spots in life?
Like, what is my philosophy in life?
Yeah,
yeah. Well, go through life, treat everyone with kindness and respect, and try not to hurt anyone, intentionally or otherwise. I mean, just living like a good person, but without the religion, without religion. Some people, when you're raised Amish and then you leave, some of them, they go find this right-wing extreme church or whatever, and I was just the opposite. Like this Amish version of Bill Maher, like, what am I doing here? These are not my people. I don't think like you at all, and and while we're on the subject of that, I would like to say that I completely am shocked, and I condemn the Amish for supporting President Trump, which is a disgrace to their heritage and to their lineage, and they're on the wrong side of history.
Yeah, absolutely. And by the way, that's not my president. I will never, ever refer to that monster as president. Like, that's not my president, never will be. And the fact that there's a super PAC, Amish super PAC formed in support of Trump, that's just beyond appalling.
But yeah, in terms of like, the Amish supporting him, which, it's hard to imagine that they would after his ban on Muslims, because they of all people know about a thing or two about immigration. So, I imagine that he's probably lost some Amish people support. If he still has some people support, that's just crazy. And, it was Abraham Lincoln that, we're recording this on President's Day, and it was Lincoln that said people that deny other people freedom deserve it not for themselves.
So speaking of our current political situation, why do bad things happen to good people? I loved what you said the last time. It was funny and it was good.
What did I even say the last time? I don't remember.
The last time your answer to this was because people voted for Trump.
Because people voted for Trump, yes. Why do bad things happen to good people? Because they voted for Trump. You're right. Absolutely. Right. Absolutely. I was so right.
It's sad. We're laughing because we either have to laugh or scream. So
yes. It's laugh, scream, cry, and
yeah.
Yes. So
last question: is there a God?
Is there a God? I don't like the label God. The label God, if you take that away, people have all sorts of different ideas what God is. To me, God is a higher energy, the life force of the universe, somewhat beyond our comprehension. So yes, in that aspect there's a God. Spiritually, like the poetry of Rumi, I think we touched on Rumi last time.
Yes.
Absolutely. I feel incredibly spiritual when, studying like the poetry of Rumi, or when you look into things like Buddhism or the meditation, or like stuff like we talked earlier. I studied Kabbalah, Judaism, it was interesting to me to look into a lot of different religions. But at the end of the day, I'm more of a spiritual person. I'm not, I don't want that structure. I had that structure for most of my life in the Amish community, and that's what I don't want.
Yeah, the organized religion, the rules and regulations.
Yeah, yes, dogma, tradition.
So what was so bad about Amish church? Like, enlighten our
just because I was aware I had a lot of books on my bedside stand, and instead of having to go sit through that, I could have been home reading and doing what I wanted to. Which sounds incredibly American and selfish, but not everyone's a godly man.
Well, I didn't even understand what was being taught and what was being told in the sermons, because the sermons were delivered in like
High German,
and that's not
right.
German. We spoke Amish. Like I
right.
call it Amish. I'm very much like one of my big
Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania Dutch. Pennsylvania Dutch because it's a misnomer. And Pennsylvania Dutch is, implies that it's a Dutch version, whereas the Amish come from Germany and Switzerland primarily. So that's German. I think what happened is that the English-speaking people, when they asked the Amish, what language do you speak? They said Deutsch. And because of William Penn coming from the Netherlands, they misheard it as Dutch. So that's my theory on how the Pennsylvania Dutch term got started and used.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure how that came about, the whole Pennsylvania Dutch thing. Some of the Amish did come from Netherlands. I think my mother, if you trace her lineage back, they come from the Netherlands.
Yeah, there are some that migrated
would have been
through because the Mennonites, like Menno Simons, was based in the Netherlands, and then the Mennonites, the Amish broke away from the Mennonites, and then during the Reformation, like in the 1500s, because of religious persecution, they, got dispersed out of Germany, Switzerland, wherever, and naturally some of them, got connected to the Netherlands. Came out through that way, especially with William Penn. Once he, had this land in Pennsylvania and invited the Amish to come over, I'm sure it got through, the Netherlands connections and so I think that's where the whole myth of, oh, we speak Pennsylvania Dutch comes from. It's like, no, like we're like German Swiss origin more than Dutch. Not that there aren't some that aren't Dutch.
It's funny. It's too bad actually that, some of the Amish didn't stay in Europe, because the Netherlands, I mean, they're so liberal and open-minded. Like, they have gay pride flags hanging off their churches there, and everybody's smoking weed. Can you imagine Amish in the Netherlands? Although there is an Amish community in Ireland, believe it or not.
Oh, really?
There is. Yes. There was a bunch of stories about it recently. So if you Google Amish community Ireland, you'll bring up the story. But it's true, there are. It's a small.
Really?
Community.
Well.
Yeah.
What I heard was, like the Amish, as a religion, not as. Mm-hmm. So let's just clarify for the sake of our viewers. Amish is more than just a language, or a religion. It's a whole culture, it's a heritage, it's a genealogy. Just because you and I aren't wearing Amish clothes doesn't mean we're not Amish anymore.
Right.
And so in terms of genealogy, the Amish still exists in Europe, but not everybody migrated over. However, the religion died out because they came around to their senses and realized how contentious and stupid they were. Like what kind of colors you were allowed to wear, and how long your dress had to be, and how thick your socks have to be, and button. Okay, any final thoughts? What would your message be to someone who is listening, who's inside the Amish, is gay, and wants to leave?
Leave quickly. Yesterday, do it now, run.
How?
I mean, how? Right, that's a good question. How? Yeah. See, and that's kind of where we're at right now. Is because every Amish person has to face that question. Okay, I'm gonna leave. Now what?
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I hope that I can provide. Part of that is that sort of Amish Underground Railroad, a system.
Right. It's almost necessary because, right.
Yeah. And so with your, the work that you're doing, hopefully, people will be able to now go and find the site LGBT Amish. And also, hopefully, like what I'll do with the directory of resources, list of resources that I'll be putting up on my website, is they can then find safe houses or, supportive communities of gay members, and reach out that way, people that are in the local area. So, so I'm glad we asked those questions and presented it, and that it's a problem. This is a problem that needs solving. How?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Any last thoughts? On anything?
Yes, I would like to. congratulate you formally on your book and
Oh,
say thank you on behalf of all, ex-Amish for sharing your voice with us and your struggles on your journey and giving us all hope because we all need each other a lot and you're amazing. Don't ever forget that. 100% girl.
so are you. I'm such a big fan. I'm just so proud of you.
Right back at you,
So glad
honey.
we
Right
met.
back at